Look into the camera. Do you see your reflection?
I can see it.
Alright, let me get at it. Come here.
How's it feel, just your life has been this, like, people know about all the projects you've been involved in, people know about when they come out, it's a big fucking deal. As time passes, they retain their value. Like, they grow in value. Like, a lot of the pieces that you've put out, a lot of the videos, they end up being classics, and the people involved in them are just icons within skateboarding. And you just kind of, like, I've listened to your story and stuff, and it's like you picked up a camera and just started doing your thing, and then it kind of just seems like one thing led to another. How does that feel at this point in your life when you've done a lot of shit?
Yeah. Well, I've been filming skateboarding in the industry since I was 19 years old. I'm 47. So, there was a couple of years where I was like off it and kind of just lingering and just having fun in New York.
Yeah.
When I first moved here and rolling around with Dill, like in the city and having the best time, you know what I mean? But I don't know. I always worked for good companies. Like I first started working in the industry. I started working for Alien Workshop, and that was due to being around Ryan G and Josh Kalis and meeting Joe Castrucci, and really Josh and G put me on through Joe, and like they needed somebody to help film, and I was in Philadelphia, so they they hired me on the spot. Like, we need someone there. We got Brian Wenning and Anthony Papalardo, who are new kids that we're like, they were like idealizing to get on.
Yeah.
They weren't even on yet. But they were just like, hey, we were just going to need somebody to film. And there wasn't really much people around. And then at the time, my girlfriend at the time, she got me a camera, or helped me pay for a camera, which never got the chance to pay her back. But I paid her back in love, so that's how that rolled. And then, I just started filming with them, and I learned a lot from Ryan G, who's a photographer in Philly, who also filmed as well. He was already working for like Transworld and already shooting photos of like a lot of the best people on the East Coast. And it'd be crazy to go to G's house and like see footage that he'd filmed, because he was already filming with like Tim O'Connor and Quim, and he's a Jersey dude, so he knew all them, but also filming with Josh and Rob Plowski. He was already in the mix with like the ill dudes filming. So when I went over, he kind of was like a mentor in a way, like, because I didn't really know how to do that much with the camera. Like, I had just got the camera, so I didn't really know how to use it. So when I first started filming, like, I didn't know how to do shutter, so it was always at 60.
Yeah.
And I just didn't know that much, and through him I learned that stuff. I mean, I learned a lot through my friends growing up in Syracuse, because we would make videos. A friend of mine, Goose, would make like videos with all our friends in our zone, and then he would at the end of the year make a video, and we'd all go over and watch it, and it would be like a really fun feeling thing, because it was like, just us in a small town, and it wasn't like we were going outside of that. It was just like us in our town, and that was it.
Yeah, it's your world.
But it was pre like Instagrams and all the social media. It was like your small little world in the middle of nowhere, which like Syracuse was, but it felt like it was like just like, this is our life, you know what I mean? We didn't see that much out of it unless you saw skate videos, you know what I mean? So, I started by getting a camera then and helping film those videos, and at the end of the year I would see like my stuff in a video that, was all together in one. And then, when I moved to Philly, I just decided to start filming out there, because I had a camera that my grandmother got me, and I was like filming like Stevie and just kids that were down at Love every day. I kind of was like hanging out down there like I was hanging out at the Everson Museum where I grew up. It was like the same feeling, but it was just in the city that was like had a dominant scene. Like Philly was the shit. Like when I moved there, it was like because it was like had the strongest scene. And also it was just raw. There was City Hall love and municipal, and it just felt like New York when I first moved here. Like how it felt compared to Syracuse, it felt so big, and then it got really small after 7 years. It like became like how Syracuse was, and then moving to New York was kind of like how Philly felt. Like it was like this gradual stepping stone.
Yeah.
But Philly's scene was just hot, and it got hotter while I was there, and I was just in the middle of it and grew into it, and I just kind of like...
Did you move there for skating, or did you move there for filming?
I actually moved there to be with my first girlfriend at the time, and through that, all I had to do was like go skate there. I didn't have a job. I kind of just moved there, and my friend Ben went to UPenn, and we came up there to visit him, me and all my friends. And then visiting him, I met this girl, kept in touch with her when I went back to Syracuse, and then probably came down and kicked it with her again, and then came back home. And then I was like, I'm moving there. I'd quit school. I was already like skating at the Everson every day with my other friends that had quit school, and we just kind of kicked it. And then, I think one day I was just like, I don't know, Philly seems really fun and like magnetizing. So I don't know. My girlfriend was like, yo, get your GED and I'll let you move down here or whatever. So I doubled up on classes and got on the Greyhound bus the next day after I passed, and that was it.
And you started meeting everyone organically at Love.
Yeah, I met him because, like I said, my friend Ben Dietz went to UPenn, and he knew everyone down at Love because he was already skating down there and socializing and just knew everyone. So when we pulled up with our crew, Ben introduced us to all the kids that kicked it at Love. And then from there, I knew them. And they were cool with us because we had a crew of like hodgepodge, like tough kids and like cool ass kids too. Like Syracuse scene, looking back, was like a dope scene anywhere else. It was just in the middle of nowhere. So like you didn't see things like you do now. Like all those kids would have been pro and sponsored, pretty much most of them. They were all really good and all had cool styles. And I don't know, Syracuse is hip, man. It's got something about it. I don't know.
I see you're always going back there too.
Yeah, I love it.
You're visiting your mom.
I'm a dork for it.
Yeah. I'm
visiting my mother, and I like recently met my dad's side of the family up there through 23andMe and like research, and it's been really cool to meet them. I have 3 half sisters, and they're like the coolest, and I have nieces that are older than me actually, because my dad was a lot older than my mother.
Yeah.
But I've learned a lot about myself in this last year by meeting them, because it was like the one thing that was missing, I think, in my life, is knowing that side. So it's been a revealing aspect to my life, and it's been a really positive aspect to myself, and it just completes what I needed to know, I think, about myself.
Yeah. Did you seek them out?
I did for like...
Because I'm not familiar with what 23andMe is, or like...
it's like a DNA like testing type thing or something, like, you know. I don't know if that's what it is. I'm pretty sure you like literally like you literally like spit in a fucking tube and send it in, and then they like tell you, and then it shows people that are related to you. And yeah, there was like somebody on there that I had already like knew, because I knew who my dad was, but like I didn't like fully know. But then after going on that and like seeing like some of the names on there, I was like, oh wow, like I found like my sister on here, and then it led to that. And I have like a really cool like other side of my, like, you know, now my family. It's pretty sick though. Like I'm pretty hyped.
Yeah.
Like it's definitely given me like a boost in my like reality.
Yeah.
Like, which is like, I don't know. It's like, because now I know a lot about my dad, and I didn't know anything, so I was like kind of like left to guess about like everything in my life, which it's like everyone in my life was my dad, because it's just what kind of like, you know, like all my friends and people I've met kind of like made up, like, oh, like, you know, made me up in a way, like, you know what I mean? I don't know. That's just what it feels like. But now, like, knowing about who my father is, I can just tell that who I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's pretty sick.
You feel like
It's
it,
the coolest.
it gave you some power and perspective.
Yeah, it gave me this like ball of energy that's like, I don't know. It's inspired me in a different way, kind of.
Yeah. So that happened like a
my
year ago?
life's changed in the last year, like, and I feel unstoppable.
Yeah.
It's a cool thing.
Wow. So you're filming in Philly. After Philly, the move was to New York.
Yeah.
At what point in doing the things that you're doing did you kind of start to realize that this was your like career path, or like the thing that you're going to be doing?
I don't know. I was working for companies. I was struggling for money. Dill was helping me out a lot, and just he was like, kind of like, he was just like there for me when I needed it. He knew it. So that's why he kind of stepped in all the time. But we were out having fun all the time, and I don't think we wanted the shit to stop. At least I didn't. But he definitely was just like doing really well. And then he just like helped me with money sometimes, and like I'd be like, dude, I'm not gonna lie, he'd give me like $100, like, oh, here's $100, like, let's go eat or whatever. And like then I would like go out that night, spend the whole $100, and the next day I'd be like, oh shit, I don't know, got no money. He'd be like, all right, come over and get money. He was like that cool, you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, like now that I have, you know, now that I make good money and like I help people out all the time, like it's like I just needed to get in that position where I can do it, you know what I mean? Like I'm so down because I know what it's like to be on couches for years, and when you need to get on your feet, it's really hard when you're like just can't get off that shit, you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like you get a step up, you make some money, and then you fucking have to pay all your bills back that you haven't fucking paid, and then you're down to low money, and then you're like, oh, I can't do anything. It's just like a fucking gnarly thing, because like New York has always been expensive, but you want to live here because you don't want to leave this energy once you get to it. It's like, I don't know, in your life you got to come here and experience it, because it's like nowhere else. It's like, you know, it's just like the people you meet here are all here for the same reason, and like everyone's like just wants to have fun in life. And like, I don't know, it's like skating. All the people that I've met here have been all hodgepodge and different types of artists and skaters and musicians, and everyone's here to like fulfill that void in their life, I think. And you find your way here, and then it's all a different sets of hodgepodge people from like different towns. You know, some are from Long Island, some are from fucking Arizona. Like everyone's just moving here to like, it sounds so fun. And then when they get here, when you first get here and how big it is, you don't know where the fuck you are. It's like the sickest thing. Like, it's like, I don't know. I mean, obviously I know where I'm at now, but I'm just saying, like, when you first move here, it's like endless amounts of like, you know, terrain, and like, just, I don't know. There's just a lot to do. I feel like, and when I moved here, I was 24. I'd probably been coming up here since I was like 21, filming like photosynthesis and shit. And when Dill lived here, he lived in a huge loft space on Canal Street. And it was just like, coming from where I was in Philly and coming and staying up here with him, it was like, damn, like, and he like lived with these like two pretty big time models and shit. And it was just like, what's this life? I don't even know. 'Cause Philly was kind of just chiller than that. But we had our like scene, and like we ran the shit. But it was just cool to come see like things outside of skating, which you only see in like magazines and shit or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like I always look back at like those Richard Avedon photos from Calvin Klein and like just being so like psyched on those like when I was younger. Like, you know, I had my room when I was younger and it was like photos of like Huff and Drake Jones and like skaters that I looked up to and just really loved at that time. And then there was like Richard Avedon's like Calvin Klein posters, and I didn't buy like the spray and shit like or anything, but I just thought they looked cool.
Yeah.
But then like coming to New York, you were like rolling with that. It felt like you were rolling with that poster or something. You were just like, what? This is like a different. And Dill was like friends with a lot of different people, and I don't know. It was fucking dope. Like the energy was unreal. And still no social media. There was hardly, I mean, there was cell phones with, you'd have to type by like going to 3 letters to get to C or something. You know what I mean? It was just a different time. But I like that time, but.
Yeah. Do you miss that time? Do you miss that New York?
I think there's a part of me that still has that New York in them, or the New York that I always imagined, like, after coming here for the first few times or whatever, and like all the stuff I learned about New York pre-hand and stuff, like I idealize that stuff all the time to keep me hyped about being here. I do like it now too. Like it's like a mix of both, but like I'm like super imaginary anyways, like, and that's just like my being is like I'm a daydreamer. I'm so like dreaming about everything all the time, which is like typical Pisces shit. But I kind of just like, if I don't like where I'm at, I just imagine it to be better and just kind of walk the streets like I think it is, you know. I just kind of live in my own world, in a world with everyone else.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. That's how I've always felt. So I like it now. I've found ways to enjoy it. But it was really fun being like, 24 and coming here and just being like, this is the sickest. It's just when the first time anywhere. Now I like really going to like rural towns and suburb leaving this for like quieter stuff feels as good in a different type of way now. It's just like I'm getting older. I've been going to Miami a lot. I've learned to like that down there a lot.
Would you live there?
Yeah, I'm actually looking to buy a place down there right now.
Yeah.
Try to do some tax fraud. I'm trying to like get a place down there so my family can go down there and kick it, and like through the winter start going down there maybe. I enjoy it down there. I enjoy the beach and shit. It's fucking sick being on the beach, like cooking all day on that thing. It's pretty fun.
When did you buy your I'm assuming you bought it, but yeah, when did you buy your apartment in New York?
I didn't buy it. I still rent it. I rent my apartment. I have a studio, and I rent them both, and rent a warehouse for Violet, and pay a couple workers, and I got a lot of overhead. But yeah. I think there's a certain point in your life where you're just like, I don't give a fuck anymore. I'm down to just like, if you're just trying to like save your money, you're like literally gonna lose it in the end anyway. So fucking why not just live it up? That's the way I see it. I definitely have been saving money for years kind of, but now I'm just like, yo, now's the time to just fucking just jam. That's like how I feel. So I want to treat myself nice and treat all the people around me fucking, I want them to be psyched.
Yeah.
So try my best.
Yeah. How's it going with Violet?
Violet's doing good.
How long has it been around?
We're keeping it low key, and it's been around since like 2000 and I don't know, 1 or 2. Kind of like slowly getting the 2001. I mean 21.
I was about to be like, what,
yeah.
Dude? Are you like?
Well, I've been thinking about it since then.
I'm kidding.
Maybe I'm kidding. I've been thinking about it for 25 years. I finally pulled the trigger. No, 21. Sorry.
Okay.
But slowly, it's just been super organic. The heads that ride for it are fucking cool as hell. And they like help out with all the ideas and come up with like the board graphics, and we all work together on it. You know what I mean? Like I was just telling Angel earlier, like, you know, they don't have to hit up like the board manufacturer or like any of that shit. That shit's just like bunk timing. But just to like make those calls and pull the trigger on spending the money, and like I just feel like they should be kids their age, and like, you know, I and somebody else will like work on that back end, and there's no rush to put things out. When the stuff's ready, we'll put it out. And the energy's just been really good. I don't know. I feel super hyped about it. And I think that, I mean, I'm pretty sure that they're all hyped on it. Like, try my best to, like, make sure that, you know, that they feel like it's their own, which it is, actually, you know? Yeah. Like, I'm not riding the shit. I definitely have, you know, come up with ideas for boards or, like, shirts and stuff. But other than that, it's, like, mostly it like 85% goes through them. Like it's their thing. Like, you know what I mean? That's what I want it to be. I want it to be their thing. I just don't want them to have to do the back work. And like, I have somebody that helps with that. And then my friend Sean that I grew up with, like runs our warehouse out in North Carolina, and just kind of, we just like work on it like that. And then, yeah, we just have stuff come out whenever. It's random, but it's like, it's like, I like it that way. I don't want it to be so calendared out. Yeah, I don't know whether I'm losing money or making money. It's besides the point. I want to just do something that feels fresh all the time. And the way we're doing it is kind of like how I always want it to be. Mm-hmm. And yeah, the fucking writers are super fucking fire, and like, just get me hyped to even go film. And we've been working on a video for a couple years, and slowly but surely, but when that comes out, it's gonna hit. I'm literally telling everyone right now, I'm just not worried. It's gonna be good. And I want to treat it like an older video, like where you have to wait for it. We have no reason to just put stuff out to put it out. Every now and then, yeah, like, I don't know, we did something with Cafe Mogador, which is like the place that I eat all the time, and we made a video out front for it, and that was fun. Like, but it wasn't serious, and it was like, dude, let's all just link up and shoot like a bunch of shit out front. And yeah, I love that video, and it feels real natural, and it's just fun, everyone hanging out. We did a trip to Miami, and it was super fun. It was like our first trip, which was because it was colder up here and we had the time. It was mimicking my first trip when I went with Alien Workshop to Miami for the first time in like 1999. So it was like, you know, there's not many places to go in the winter, but we all went down and just got like 2 SUVs and like a fucking sick hotel. Everyone had rooms. Like, it was sick, man. And like, it was just fun, you know? And that's what it's about, man. Especially if these kids are like, you know, like 19 to 20 fucking 3 or whatever. It's like, dude, it's about having fun right now. Like, they're going to film shit. And this modern world of skateboarding pushes people to their limit with how much, you know, like imagery that everybody needs all the time. It's like, it's not realistic. And like looking at old videos, they're so good because it was like heads worked on them. You know, there are some videos that heads worked 3 years on, and it was like a production, and it's going to be this big video. But like the videos that I really love are the ones that I always have watched when I was younger, like Tim and Henry's and New World Order. And like, those guys went and filmed when they could and got shit, and like, it didn't feel that gung-ho, but they feel real genuine. And I really feel like the Violet video is going to be genuine, and everyone's just going to have to wait and see. I already know what we have on video, and we're going to work on it for a bit longer, and we'll put it out if it feels right.
Yeah, nice. When did the idea for Violet come about? Because everyone was on, some people were on different teams, and you're always filming for a bunch of different companies. So when did that idea start formulating?
During the time we were making Play Dead, I was making that video for Supreme. It's just during that time I was starting to film with a new crew of kids in New York. Troy had just moved here from Seattle, and Seven. I would see them around, and who else was around? And then I was going to Philly a lot and seeing like Chris and Mike and Efron up there. And I don't know, I just, during the process of that, I felt this energy, like this new energy, just with a bunch of kids that I didn't know, you know what I mean? It felt like there was just new skaters around me, you know what I mean? And I don't know, like I've always helped everybody with their stuff, like, you know what I mean? I'm a selfless person. Like, I'm a little selfish, but I'm also selfless when it comes to like helping people and giving them my ideas and imagining what, you know, oh, you could do this or you could do this. Oh, I never thought of that. Like, you're right or whatever, you know? And I've always given up my time for other people. So I think at a certain point, I was just like, I didn't know if I was ever going to do a skate company, but my life is lodged in skateboarding. I love it. I still love it so much, whether I'm filming or not. It's just in my blood. But I was like, oh, should I start a company? Man, I don't really want to. I don't want to, like, you know, because Dill and all them have companies, and I just don't want to be like somebody that, you know what I mean? Like, I just didn't know if having a skate company is something that I ever wanted. But I think there was a point where I was like, if I'm going to do a company, this is the time in my life to do it. So I'm either going to say yes or no. And I just said yes. I said, fuck it. I'm going to do it. I like these kids. I think that's like this team, these kids all together just feels like they would fit under a company called Violet. And when I told them the name, they were like, oh, I'm definitely doing it. like instantly. Yeah. It was like, oh, that name's so fucking sick. I'm doing it. So I don't know. Just felt like there's an array of skateboarders that fit under that word perfectly. I don't know why. It's just what I imagined. I didn't have any other names. That was the one. And that was like what I thought. Yeah, it just came to you. It came to me. It came to me like that. Like, the V at the beginning is a cool letter to start any company, and just like, I don't know. I felt like it was like masculine but feminine. Yeah. Like, and that's it's like, I don't know. When me and Seven were talking about it, we kept talking about like Belly and like that movie. Mm-hmm. And I don't know, like even like the neon lights at the beginning, and just like, I don't know, that word just stuck out. I just literally don't know why. Yeah. It's like, oh, well, also like my mother she always sends me like the Purple Heart. So I was like, oh, like, I don't know. My mother's really, really a unique person. And she, you know, she's schizophrenic, but she's also never had to work. Like, she's like been living, like the government pays her rent, and she was sick a lot early on in my life, but she's never been like tormented by your day to day, like you have to do this. And she kind of is just kind of like sits around, watches TV, goes to the store. Like she's like totally like 100% like healthy, but it took a while for her to get, like, she has a chemical imbalance, so it took him a while to find it out. She's a really beautiful person, but she always sends me that, and I always would like, I was like, why does she always send me like that? Like, but her favorite color is purple, but I was like, oh, something like purple too, like, but I didn't want to use that word, or like, what other things are there? It's like, oh, it's like, there's violet. So it was like a mix of like some things, you know, it's not really. That was just like something that I added to it. I feel like when the time came, you know, there's like all these just like different little things, like the way Seven was thinking, and the way, like, you know, like all these things combined, like kind of like was like violet. I don't know. I just like the way the word looks. I think really it comes down to aesthetic, how something looks.
Yeah, how the word.
And that's like in my mind everything to me. Like how something looks, and how it's gonna how it's gonna stand the test of time. And it's like, you know, I'm hyper aware of things, so I don't know. It's just the way I felt about that word in general. And I just feel like Seven to Efron to like Pat, Troy, it's like they just fucking, it works. I don't know. And that's from my point of view. Like, I can't speak for anybody else, but I think that's just how it works and how it rolled.
Yeah. Is it stressful at all taking on so many projects? You're filming for Supreme, you're filming for Violet, you're running Violet, and then you're just doing a bunch of stuff. How does that feel?
Yeah. It's like these things that are just hovering over my head. Like, and I just one by one handle them. I almost want to see if I can take on like 4 more things just to see if how my span can go.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like Supreme is a big job, and I, I've always treated it like it's mine. You know, when I first started working there and making the first videos that, you know, they put out, it was my thing. It's my thing. Like, it still is. Like, it's my shit when I'm like making it. I like work hard with the skaters. But the way I see things when I'm like editing and like picking music, and I've worked with the skaters on that stuff when it's like the bigger videos where they have their own parts, but like I want to feel the video while I'm making it, and like I don't know, dream it out of me. You know, it's weird. I don't know how to explain it, but it's like when I edit like one part of a video and I get done with it and I'm like hyped on it, like if I'm like super hyped, I can finish the rest of the video in like a couple hours, because I get like this extra like shot of adrenaline or something. I just get so hyped on things. I'm like such a geek and a dork and a fan, like, you know what I mean? So sometimes when I edit something and I'm really hyped on just a little part, I literally can just get the rest done. And sometimes it takes me weeks or months to even start editing, because I need that, like, you got one day left, and then after that I gotta like, it's like forcing myself to do it. And if I'm forced to like handle it, like where there's like, dude, the deadline's tomorrow, you haven't had anything in, it's like I'll just like, it's all been lingering, you know what I mean? But then I just put it on paper when the time comes, you know what I mean? And that process is just like building that energy is very, I don't know, it's a rhythm that I it's some sort of rhythm. I don't know. It's weird. It's
how did you first get involved with them?
I first got involved with Supreme through my friend Kyle Demers that started working there right before he asked me to come in and do a commercial for them. But he started working there, and then Dill was involved with them. He was doing the lookbooks, and yeah, he got me involved. They both got me involved, and then yeah, I don't know. At one point, right after he started working there, he wanted to do skate stuff, so he was like, yo, what's up? You want to make a commercial? Let's do it. And like, that's where Tyshawn came into play, and Dill was around, and we made that little online thing called Buddy. And that was the start. That was like how I aesthetically felt like Supreme video should look, was like that. That exactly was it. They put Tyshawn in front of me because they had heard he was like a new kid in town that, like, I think Ty Lyons, who worked at the shop, was like, hey, there's this kid Tyshawn, he's pretty sick. Like, had like footage of him doing like a tray flip down the Battery Park stairs or something, but I hadn't even seen that. I think he might have showed them at the office, and then yeah, they were like, yo, like, would you want to go out with Tyshawn and Dill for a weekend and see what you get? And I was like, yeah, let's get it. Like, whatever. Made that, and then literally after that came out, they were just like, yo, what do you think about doing a full length? And I was like, let's talk about it and like try to figure it out. And yeah.
Did they give you
Rest is
any
history.
did they give you any direction for, oh, we want it to look this way, we want it to look that? Oh, it was just straight up you.
I had ideas about having certain people in it, and we tried to like, you know, like, or I tried to get like some of the bigger pros that I was like thinking, and it was just really difficult like for people to be on schedule, you know what I mean? I was moving around a lot. I was like going out to LA for 2 months, and I was coming out here, and it was just whoever was in my existence at that time and put in the effort, I worked on it to try to make sure that they're involved in it. You know, when Dylan got that line, backside heel flip, switch backside heel flip, everyone like changed their tune, was like, oh, that's in the video? Okay, this is a real video. And I was like, yeah, this has always been a real video. But people thought it was like, not like a chomp on this, or like kind of like, and maybe like a, I don't know, because FTC videos are really good, but like, and at the time that they came out, they were the shit. But like, I think people thought like, oh, I'm just going to like film something and be in this video. And I always hated that. So I'd always try to curve those people that thought that. But then, yeah, I don't know. And I was also in LA, and I was hanging out at the Fairfax shop, and, you know, all the kids that were in Cherry were hanging out there. And a lot of the dudes that I, like the pros that I imagined being in it, weren't answering the phone or like linking up, or like, oh, I can only come out for an hour or whatever. And I was just like, you know what? Like, you guys want to go skate? I'm just been sitting here. Let's go skate. And we would just go around the neighborhood there, and there's like a rail up the street, and then there was like a bank up here, like, and we were just like cooking around to these little spots for a second, like the, you know, those first few days. And then I got to the point where it was like, bro, that energy, these kids are sick. Like, I want this energy around me. I don't want to like go out with somebody that's just, I want to just get a trick like really quick. Like, I just like felt like skateboarding needed that like fun new energy. Like, all the eras that I've ever liked in skateboarding, that energy has always stuck out the most to me. And it's like how when I first started skating, like, it was like me hanging out with my friends, you know what I mean? And I just miss that style of energy in life. And like, that brings so much in, you know, and personalities, and meeting all those kids for the first time, and how different their personalities were, but how also unique and cool they were. And just like, it was undeniable to me. Like, I wanted to film with them the whole rest of the video. You know, obviously Dylan, Alex, Dill, Gons, Paulo, like,
That's one of my favorite parts.
Yeah,
Paulo
that was
Diaz.
like fun, dude. You know what I mean? Like, all the energy was fun, and we all knew that like if we could get it done, it would be like a video that was a really strong video at the end. But yeah, I don't think we were trying to put it out unless it felt like, all right, like this seems like it's, you know, to me, when I got that done, I was like, oh, this is done. Like, this feels right. It rolls from beginning to end. And, you know, it kind of, I don't know. But that video really was the video that I wanted to put out, because I didn't know, like, in my mind, that was going to be the only full length I was going to do. Like, in my mind, this is the one. Supreme's given me the opportunity, so I'm not going to let them down, but also I'm not going to let myself down or the people in the video. And I was just like, I saved a lot of different things for that video, style of editing, and just, you know, it was a big deal to me for somebody to give me the opportunity to make my own video, which no one had given me that opportunity. Because everyone was just doing, you know, they were, you know, Alien Workshop's their own company. They have, like, you know, Joe editing their stuff, which he killed it. Like, I loved working for them. And I love those videos that he made, you know what I mean, with the footage that I filmed for him. And I was the, you know, the main filmer for them. So I just think that at a certain point, I started making my own videos and YouTube was the catalyst for that, and putting them out and building up that hype and street cred, I guess. I don't know. I just was doing, like, I just felt like rebellious as hell, like where I was just like, oh, I'll show everyone. But also I was like not homeless, but I was like couch surfing, and then I had a room for 7 months. Like I lived like in the city and paid for a room. I had roommates and shit. And at that time I had all my tapes and all my hard drives of stuff. And I was just like, I think at a certain point, cause I was having a lot of fun in the city, partying a lot, like just living it up. And then I think at a certain point it just started to get like so boring.
Mm-hmm.
There was like, no one was out that I used to go out with. Like at times they were like changing, but I was just like still trying to get in the streets, you know, like have fun. And I think at a certain point I just had to put my foot down on myself and just be like, fuck, man, I got to do something. Like this shit's gonna get old. And it was real tiring just being broke. So I was just like, I don't know. I want to see skateboarding the way I want to see it, not how everyone else is portraying it with the stuff that I'm filming. So I just wanted to feel raw and more like how I feel like I see it from my own eyes. And I don't know. I just made a few videos and they popped off, and then I just built up a repertoire with the stuff I was doing, and I was getting hyped off it too. It was like the feedback was crazy, you know what I mean? And I was like, oh shit, I didn't know I could do this, but then I could. You know, it was really weird, but it was like also like there was just YouTube. There was no other shit. There was no like Instagram, all this shit. So this is like at the beginning, like not of YouTube, but this was like at the beginning of like doing stuff yourself and being able to put it out yourself. And sure, there was probably other things coming out and people were using YouTube, but it wasn't like really big for skating.
Yeah.
And I had like a website too, so I would promote it on. I would edit my stuff. I'd put it on my website, and then like I would geek out and take it down once people were like talking about it. I'm like a jokester, so I like to like, you know, trick people and shit. I don't know. I was just like, and I was really rebellious. Like, I don't know. I just had that like I'll show you attitude. You know what I mean? Which I still have today, and I like to like, I don't know, put my foot down on things. It's like, you know, I want things to be like how I see them. And, you know, you get hit from a bunch of angles these days from all different things that are going on. And you're just kind of like, you know, like dizzy kind of. But it's just like, I don't know. I kind of step back from all that shit, think about what I want to do and try to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But, yeah, I don't know. I started doing my thing, and it kind of went from there till right now.
It's wild, man. When you look at Cherry now, what do you think? How do you feel?
I feel great. I really like that video. I like how it came out, and when you don't see things for a while and you see them again, they feel like it feels great, because it's like it's such a time period for me, you know? Feels like, you know, like Dylan was around, Alex was around, Dill was around, Ave was around, all those kids were around. And, you know, I see some of those kids here and there, maybe Dill every once in a while because he's out west, but I don't really see them that much, you know? Sometimes on Supreme trips, some of the kids, but it's weird because even when I was talking with Gus about that stuff, I did mention like, yeah, you know, like filming somebody like 15 years ago, you like filming certain skaters that I've filmed, you know, in the past. I'm so like wrapped up in their world as they are in the world of skateboarding that I'm like, I'm going to know this person for the rest of my life, like easily. Like, so we're in the world together at that moment. But like, as time moves on, it like, sometimes it just slowly fades out and you're like, wow, like how do I not know that person anymore? It was like, it would be like, I don't know. And it's happened over and over. So it's crazy because, you know, people end up like not getting hurt or not skating and like moving on and finding jobs, and then they're doing that or whatever it may be. But like, I guess there's a thing in my head that's like, I just got to keep going. Like there's no stopping me. I'm like, I don't know, feel bulletproof, I guess.
Yeah. Let me just say, I believe I was 18 when Cherry came out.
Yeah.
And the videos I really came up on was like Fully Flared, America Stay Gold, Volcom Let's Live was a huge one for me. And then, but that was when I was maybe like 14, 15, way younger.
Yeah.
Then when Cherry came out and I saw it for the first time, it was like the shit that you're saying right now with how you feel when you're in like a dream state and it's kind of like weird and hard to explain. It was almost like that video from like my little kid eyes was like a portal into some sort of energy that I could tap into, that I'm like feeling like I have some sort of like weird purpose. Like I'm pumped to be alive is what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the best skate videos straight up like ever, dude. So it's sick that you made that, and that to hear your process of making it. There's like the skate videos that are the illest to me are the ones that represent, it's like a timestamp of the era. And it's like, I think some of the Anti-Heroes videos do that. I think the Baker videos for sure do that, et cetera, et cetera. And I think that Supreme Cherry, without a doubt, like that's the timestamp of that era. And kids from fucking small towns could see that shit and they'll just get it right away somehow. Maybe they've never seen some shit like that before, but they see it and they understand it and they're like, dude, this is the shit. And it inspires them, and straight up, like in a weird way, kind of just makes their life better.
Yeah, well, the energy in that video is undeniable and it's real. And skateboarding was pretty stale with the style of videos that were getting made then. And I think people were just trying to like go big and go bigger and go bigger, and the videos were flat. Like they were just like video part, like, I don't know. I want to make something that felt like real to me, and I had the right cast of characters to do that, and they were all hyped as well, which made me hyped. And I tried to capture them in the way that felt real, like, and it was real. Like the things that happened in that video were real. Like Paulo nollied over that homeless person. You know what I mean? Like that wasn't fake. Like that happened. Like all the shit in there happened, and to have a group of kids like that who their energy was undeniable. I think every kid in the world could be like, oh, me and my friends, this is who we are too. We didn't know it. We should document each other and make a video like that. Or why aren't we doing this stuff? Like those kids became so popular, and like everything seemed to kind of just like go off that. Like there was like a lot of shit talking, a lot of loving, like there was all the energy, and we were in like a bubble kind of, and like we were just like, we were down for it. You know what I mean? Like it was like we were in this like magical bubble for like years.
Yeah.
And like we made other videos after that. Like right after that, we made Joyride, we made Sickness, we made Pussy Gangster, we made all these videos like for a few years after that. The Red Devil, and like just the energy kept going, and then it became like work where it was needed. But you know, a lot of those early videos were just kind of just happening. Like we were going on trips for, you know, to San Francisco for 10 days and filming a video and like making something out of it and stuff like that. But like it didn't feel like we were on a job at all. It just felt like, what, we're traveling around now. Like it felt like a band or something. It was sick. It was like, it was fun, man. But like, you know, throughout your life, energy changes and it goes up and down. And sometimes it's like high, low lows. And sometimes it's boring and sometimes it's the shit. And you know, life's long, so it can't always be this like ultimate high, you know, like sometimes I get frustrated. Sometimes I'm like, damn, I've never had a day better than this. And still till now, you know, there's a lot of expectations from me to myself. Like every time I make a video, I want to make it good. You know what I mean? At least I want it to feel good. I want kids to see it and want to go skate. And like, I want them to just be hyped on the shit that I'm doing, because, you know, I put a lot of work into all that shit. You know what I mean? As do the skaters. And, you know, I think Blessed was a real statement. I feel like everyone put their heart into that. It was for Dylan, and like, it felt like so grand. The way it was promoted felt like it was like a fucking Scorsese movie or some shit. Like it was promoted like crazy, like all the wheat paste and all. But it was like, it was a statement. Like we had a lot of people talking about us for a few years after Cherry, and like, it was just like, you know, everyone was of an age where they were like ready to like have their own part and like put in the work. Like all those kids put in so much work for that. And it just seems, you know, seems like when you put out a video, it's like people just don't understand how much goes into those things. It's like, you know what I mean? So, I mean, definitely people felt like we put in a lot of energy for sure, but it's just crazy how much time goes into this shit.
Yeah.
And that's what I was talking about with Gus too, is like, you know, you set up shots for a movie, and, you know, you set them up, it's written out, and then you go in for a 3-week filming for a movie. This is 2 to 3 years of our lives out almost the whole time for those years of filming to edit for like 1 month or 2 months, like 3 years. So like, you know, that's why I don't know. I've always said, oh, I want to make a movie. Like, that's what I've been saying, that shit for 20 years at this point. Like, these are the movies that I'm making, I guess, because it's just like literally like these time capsules of my life, really.
Yeah.
And that goes all the way back to photosynthesis. If I really think about it, it's like I can look at that and know where I was the day that I filmed most of the stuff in that video, or, you know, so it's like, it's all just this like time.
Yeah.
You know, I want to fulfill it. I never really felt like that at the beginning though. During photosynthesis, I was busting my ass though. Like I had like tons of skaters I was filming, Habitat and Workshop. And I didn't do anything else. I really was like on it, lighting up spots at night, skating all day, lighting up spots at night. Kalis was on fire. Dill was on fire. I was like just really on it, and so excited that I found something in my life that I wanted to do. Cause I was like literally doing like odd jobs that were whatever. And I was just like, minute I got the call from Workshop, quit the job that I had. And I literally was just like, what? I'm doing this. That's crazy. Like, because I was already obsessed with skateboarding for years before that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it was a cool feeling to be like, what? I'm kind of doing something that I've always looked up to, and being like, I'm involved kind of, but also like weirdly shy and nervous around some of the pros that I like loved, you know what I mean? Already like knew about them. Dill, I had a poster of him on my wall in Philly. It was like a 2-page spread from Transworld. It's the only thing that I had on my tack board. And then like sure enough, 5 months later or whatever, I'm staying at his house in New York and filming him. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah, it's weird how life works.
Yeah, it is. It's interesting, but but yeah, no, I was working really hard then, and then yeah, I had a like middle point where I like moved to New York, and I kind of like chilled out, kind of got canned from workshop, like, cause I was like, I don't know, skipping town, hanging out with ladies, and just fucking having fun, like kind of being a kid, I guess. And then yeah, I put my foot down on myself and said, what am I gonna do? Use what I got to get what I want. And I was like, all right, I'm doing this shit, and that's it. That's how. And I'm not gonna stop. I'm like literally still obsessed with skating. I'm obsessed with making shit in my life and making it interesting and fun.
How is it seeing the people who you're filming go off and do their own things, whether it be like Dill or Anthony Papalardo, Tyshawn, Sage, Sean Pablo, just like so many people going different directions and growing from the point where you were filming them and spending that 2 to 3 years
Yeah.
to then doing a bunch of other stuff.
Well, Dill and like Kalis and like Ave and like people of those levels, they were already big before I got involved with them. You know, like they were already like cemented in skating. They were already doing shit. But yeah, like someone like Sage or Sean and like that crew, like, yeah, like they got sponsored by like Converse, so they'd have to go do a Converse video. And yeah, it was interesting to like see that happen. But meanwhile, at the same time, we were still doing stuff. So my stuff was still like my stuff felt like what it was always going to be, just came from my point of view. And like, I didn't, you know, I saw them in a different light when somebody else worked with them, you know what I mean? And I was like, that's just the way that company rolls, or, you know what I mean? But I just kind of kept it as like, we're just hanging out, like all of us, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, it becomes a job after everyone wants you, you know what I mean? So, there's nothing that I could do because they were, you know, they were making money and like being able to like live a lavish lifestyle. Yeah. So you kind of got to give in, you know, and like it was cool for them too, because I think for them, like even the videos they were doing with me, it was kind of like based on like what I wanted to, and like they got to see other things, how they were, you know, like how they ran and stuff. And like going on, like I said, with like Sean and Sage, they would go on a Converse trip and they weren't with the people that we were with on our trips. Like they weren't with like Tyshawn and Nakel and like Aiden and them. And like they were with like, you know, the heads that were on Converse. So they got to experience a whole crew of other people, but also travel the world and like get to, you know, we were doing videos, like we weren't traveling that much. Like we did go to SF, but like we would stick around here. So like if they had to go on a trip and like Knock and Tyshawn with Adidas going over to like, you know, Germany or wherever, it's like they got the point of all this is to like be able to travel the world. Like I've gotten to see the whole world, like not the whole world, but I've gone to a lot of places in my life because I've picked up a camera and started filming skateboarding and had my own point of view on it. So, I mean, that's priceless to me. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, there's people I know that haven't left Syracuse. You know what I mean? Like, they've never seen anything. And it's like, you know, I want to go back to a lot of the places I've been. I've been back to the places I've been. There's places that I don't want to go back to. But, like, dude, I've been everywhere. So, you know, I've been to 3/4, I think, of the world, I would think.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, you've had a fucking wild journey, dude.
Yeah, and it's not stopping.
Yeah.
Literally, like, feel better than ever right now. Like, yeah. You know what I mean? So, I got so much more I want to do. And, yeah, I want to, like, just stay being creative. It's, like, so fun. And, like, there's so much stuff, like I said, on my shoulders. But, like, I try to be as creative in all of it as I can, you know? It's like, it's not that hard. You just got to just dream it.